We're here at Walcot ABC today. Jamie Cox, Harry Scott, and Dave Vasey. Jamie, first time you've been back to Walcot for some time. You brought back the European belt. What does it feel like?
It's crazy to come back and still see Dave and Harry. You know, they're still turning out the champions. Just spoke to Dave there. They said the first year for 12 years that they haven't produced a national champion. So, but the gym's still the same. You know, there's a lot of gyms in the country that I've been to that are state-of-the-art £1 million projects, and even now I prefer to train in the professional gym that I train's at in the bottom of a butcher's with John, and it's like home from home. The old types are always the best types.
Has it changed much since you were training back in the day?
Yeah, it has trained a lot, to be fair. Obviously, even when I was here, it was changing. I started boxing at the top and there was a car park underneath, and then it got converted, and yeah, it's just obviously it's a lot cleaner than when I was here anyway.
Well, what sort of memories does it bring back? You know, as you walk around and go upstairs and you come into this room where the weights are. Oh, this room that we're in now, I remember Harry always used to come in here and do his weights, and this is where he used to send us to do our little weight circuit. It's great memories here, and you know, obviously from when I was a kid, this gave me a great start in life, and gave me a lot of discipline. And you know, it's crazy where I'd be without boxing today, to be honest. And obviously I've got Harry and Dave to thank for that. You know, obviously Dave, when I was a kid, not just me, he was doing it every week in, week out, driving 200, 300 miles around the country, you know, to get everyone to the fights. Harry was in here busting his gut for everyone, and you know, it's been amazing. Just looking at a photo over there that I've seen there, that was like, he was the boxer that I aspired to be like when I was an amateur. Stephen Lucas, he was going to fight Ricky Hatton, I think, in the ABA final, but he didn't. Yeah, got a cold, so he had to pull out. So yeah, all these pictures, and there's plenty more that ain't even on the wall. Great memories. Yeah. Can you remember the first time that you walked through these doors?
Yeah, I do. I remember. I even remember who I seen the first time I walked in. It was a kid called Dave McKenzie. He had a massive scar down his face that I remember. It's most probably it faded, but he had a big scar on his face. And Jamie husband, who's still my good friend now, and godfather to his kids. They're the first people that I see in the gym, and I thought, who's this rough bunch? Then I went upstairs through the hatch, and you think, what am I getting myself into when I'm 8 years old? But yeah, my mum knew Harry, and we were at a family barbecue, and yeah, my mum went and spoke to Harry about me starting boxing, and then that was that.
Excellent. And you also got loads of memories, you know, from this gym, winning, you know, the ABA title, for example. But are there any kind of special memories that you recall? Might not be winning titles, but just little funny stories.
There's a few if I can remember. I've got a bad memory, but there's so many memories. If I sat down and thought about it, I always remember Harry used to telling Jamie he's doing it for the baked beans when he used to fight. That was one of the sayings Harry always used to say about Jamie husband. He's a good friend of mine. He always used to say to him he's doing it for the baked beans, and it was just some of the things that Harry said. And you know, obviously Harry must probably saying the same things now to the kids and treating them with the same way. And the good thing about it was there was no superstars in the gym. Everyone was on the same playing field, and I think that's what obviously gave you a bit of respect. So you not to get above yourself and maintain that level of respect, even if someone isn't as good, and there is no liberties in the gym.
Sure. I'll come to you, Dave. What's it like having Jamie back in the gym?
Yeah, it's great.
And with that belt as well.
Yeah, great to see him. Great to see him. I did see the fight, and he did really well. A lot of power, a lot of skill, and yeah, I mean, I remember Jamie coming in when he was 7 or 8 years old. Remember it pretty well. Back then, the gym was only open 3 times a week, and then when Jamie got to 11, 12, started getting good, we opened the gym on a Tuesday just for Jamie. I used to go and pick him up from Westley, where he used to live, and me and Harry used to train him. And I used to have the dubious pleasure of sparring him 3 rounds. He used to whack me about until he was about 16, and then I'd take him home and he'd say, "Thanks, Dave, thanks ever so much, brilliant," you know, like going with a bit of an headache. But yeah, he was always a very hard trainer, probably the hardest trainer we've ever had at Walcot, I would say, and he's the most successful in because he won the senior ABAs. He's our only senior ABA champion. He won the Commonwealth Amateur Gold. So he's been the most successful. He only ever lost to good kids when he was a schoolboy. He lost to some very good kids like Bradley Saunders when he was younger. And when he was 17, he won the boys' clubs, and he knocked his opponent out in every round, including the final. Then he went in the ABAs a few weeks later, and he got beat by about 2 points in the final in London by a kid called Michael Grant. And Frank Warren wrote in the News of the World that what a great prospect this lad from Swindon was, Jamie Cox. That's when people started taking notice. And then the next year he won the ABAs, and he won the Commonwealth Games gold medal. So he did really well, and still unbeaten as a pro. So we hope he's still got some time ahead of him to do even better.
How pleasing is it for you and everyone at the club to see Jamie with that belt and on the cusp of hopefully a world title?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, all the little kids in here can look at Jamie, look at the belt and think, well, that could be me. Obviously, when Jamie came here, he'd never boxed before. Through Harry's coaching and helped by myself and Harold Scott and a chap called Dave Holliday that used to be here, Jamie progressed. And through hard work, almost anyone can succeed at boxing. But you have to put the hard work in. You've got to really want to do it. Jamie always wanted to train. Sometimes he'd ring up Harry asking him to open the gym on an extra day on a Saturday because he wanted to get a bit more weight off and he wanted to train. And he was always the keenest boxer. I always remember at Bristol, talking about funny stories, if he was ever in a 3, so that they'd draw the names out of the hat, he would always want to box twice. Yeah. He would always hope. He's the only boxer I've ever known that he would hope that he would box twice in the same afternoon. He would be disappointed if he got a bye. So that was how keen Jamie was. And he's always loved the boxing. And it's just great. If he could win the world title, that would be fantastic.
Brilliant. Finally, I'll come back to you, Jamie. It's a little more than a week since you won that title. Has it sunk in?
Yeah, it's sunk in. Obviously, not just saying this, Harry sat beside me. For some reason, he always said, because I worked very hard, that he always used to say that, and Dave himself, that they always thought I was always going to. Obviously, I'm on a path still as a professional, but they always say I'll be a champion. And when you're a kid, you want to be, but you don't expect to be. And they must have seen something in me, and I was always dedicated. I wasn't the best skilled as an amateur. That's one thing. I was the most dedicated, but I wasn't. There's a lot better skilled fighters that have come through Walcot anyway, but I was always the most dedicated. And here we are, back in the gym. Nothing changes. It's just it's like a conveyor belt of boxers here. Just turning them out, Dave and Harry, and obviously it's great to come back and hear that they're still national champions. Because as an amateur, I won a few titles, but there's a lot better. Ryan Martin for one, he's a professional now. Jorgen Sataj, and then a few others, and there's a few more others. Danny Barge, the McDonoughs. They won a lot more national titles than me. I won some big ones, but they won a lot more national titles than me. Maybe because I had better fighters in my weight division, but no, I'm only joking. But they won a lot more national titles than me, and I think just if you're dedicated and you keep on sticking at it, even if you lose a couple of fights, that you can get somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to pop in a bit more regularly now, and if you can. Yeah,
definitely. Even if Harry and Dave, obviously I've got me, Steve Murto, and John McDonough. We just opened up a gym recently, the Arena. It's a little fitness gym, but coming back here now, it'd be nice to just come down and maybe give the kids a few pointers and try and help them out with Harry and Dave.
So what's next for you now? There's a few rumours that the world title bout that you're after that shouldn't have might be set to vacate. Is there any truth in that you know of?
Yeah, there's a few rumours going around, and if he does vacate it, then they've said to me that I've got first in line to fight for the world title, and if that opportunity does arrive, definitely going to take it with both hands, and hopefully we can bring a world title back to Walcot.
And that'll be against Buglioni then?
Buglioni, yeah.
Presumably you've seen his fight since, have you?
Yeah, I watched his fight since, and obviously I've sparred Frank, and I've seen him fight in a few fights. He's a strong boy, but strength don't always win fights, and it's down to skill and technique, and I think we've definitely got his number. And if I fight Frank Buglioni, there will be a world title coming back here.
And if that fight doesn't happen for your next fight, presumably a defence of the European.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, then we'll defend this, and I think the fight I'll fight next, if it happens, is going to be a final eliminator anyway. So if I win that, obviously I've got mandatory position for the world title.
So in the meantime, just going to tick over in the gym?
Yeah, tick over in the gym, definitely.
Harry?
Well, I'm very proud of Jamie. And Jamie is always a breath of fresh air. You bring it back. But I would like also to thank Peter Arthur for having this because if it wasn't for Peter Arthur, this would never happen. And Peter Lee, I would like to thank them for me. And I would like to remind the council, when this boy wins the European
Commonwealth.
the Commonwealth boxing, they come here and said, you will never train in this place again. How many years was that?
You'll have a better place. That was around 8 years ago. Yeah.
You want to tell them we're still here? And show them that.
So a message to the council.
That's me. I don't forget nothing. I go see the boys now. Jamie,
Harry,
success
thank you, Harry.
all the way.
Thank you, Harry.
And always remember these people.
Yeah.
I'm alright. I'm going to do this.
I'd like to say also, Steve, obviously, if it wasn't for Harry and most probably his attitude and him to, you know, his effort of pushing me, and Dave is Harry's right hand man. He always has been ever since I knew him. And if it wasn't for Dave and Harry, and obviously I got, as an amateur, I've got to thank Dave Holliday, also Islan, Harold. And now obviously Lionel wasn't there when I was there, but he's here, he's been here for years now, Lionel McRae. These guys, you know, they're still doing the same stuff now as back then, you know, and even before when I was even around. If it wasn't for them guys from us guys that don't really have nothing in Swindon, you know, there wouldn't be no champions. There wouldn't be, even if you ain't a champion, there wouldn't be putting people on the right paths, and, you know, I'm very grateful for that.
That's great. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.